The committee is pleased to recommend the following two individuals as finalists: Norwell Fire Chief Jeffrey Simpson and Halifax Fire Chief Jason Viveiros. So again, it was a pleasure to serve on that committee, and I think we did a thorough job. Selectman DARCY was a part of that. He can attest to the process.
It was a very thorough and exhaustive process. I think we're happy with the candidates we've advanced forward to recommend to the board, and thank you, Chief, for serving our community in yet another capacity.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate this opportunity to be here today. I hope that you've had an opportunity to look at my resume and some of the past things that we've accomplished. In my current town, I couldn't be prouder of what we've done there with myself and my staff. In just 6 short years, we've managed to increase staffing levels, replace almost our entire fleet of apparatus, decrease response times, improve our ISO score. And we did that in a community that didn't have a lot of money. So saying to the taxpayers, give me money and I can build your fire department, wasn't an option. We did it through creative ways, such as looking for grants. I've personally written $1.5 million in grants for the town of Halifax in a brief time. But what I'm more proud of is now my staff is writing grants. I have 2 excellent grant writers who have stepped up and brought in a few $100,000 themselves in grant money to the town. And we used that to replace a ladder truck. We replaced all our SCBA equipment, portable radios. And we also built our fire department by looking at some outside the box ideas. We developed a staffing model that was not necessarily traditional. It wasn't necessarily a traditional staffing model. We restructured our ambulance fees to try to capture those calls that we weren't capturing before and having to rely on mutual aid. So I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the people I work with, and they've been a great group. And I hope that I can bring some of that same energy here to Marshfield, and like I said, build on the department, an already great department that you already have.
Started the fire service when I was just shy of 19 as a call firefighter in the town of Norwell. Became a full-time firefighter in 1993. I've been in the fire service full-time for over 28 years, 2 call, 30 years total. I've worked my entire life for this. I moved up through the ranks. Obviously, as a firefighter, started at that young age, early 20s. Fire prevention was my thing. I brought the program to the schools, classroom to classroom. I eventually met my wife in one of those classrooms, promoted to the rank of captain, 2000. Continued with fire prevention, more or less leading that function with others working with me to provide that to the schools. Continuously worked to achieve higher levels of education. Received my bachelor's degree, a little late, business management. Eventually became senior captain in 2007. Took over the code enforcement functions for the department, more or less becoming the health and welfare officer for the department as well. During my time as senior captain, we did not have a deputy chief. So during that time, the function of the senior captain was to basically provide the same services that a deputy chief would. When the fire chief was away or on vacation or training, my job was to act in his absence. So from 2007 to 2019, I became deputy. They finally made a deputy's position in town. I was appointed to deputy fire chief, EMS coordinator, infectious disease officer, and CERT coordinator, and then became obviously promoted to the rank of fire chief in 2020, and that is where I am today. I think it's the greatest place to live in the world. People come here and they ask me, they say, geez, it's unbelievable. It's true. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And have an opportunity to represent the men and the women of the Marshfield Fire Department. The capacity of fire chief would just be the icing on the cake. And I feel that I am the person to lead the department and continue a long history that Chief Hocking put down prior to me. And continue continue his legacy and bring it to even newer heights.
Again, two great candidates. We're really lucky to have people that were going to leave great jobs to come here, so it really says something about the management of the town. But I really think that Chief Simpson really narrowly edged out Chief Viveiros, so you know, I'm going to make a motion to appoint Chief Simpson as the fire chief, and you're all welcome to join or not join in that motion. That's fine. That's it. You can certainly make a motion of your own if you have one.
Well, I actually, I'm on the other side, so
And that is
I believe.
absolutely fine.
So. if
We're not supposed to agree all the time.
I agree. So if Steve,
It's
Steve
very
wants
narrow.
to second
It's
your
very
motion,
close.
if he wants to second your motion, he can.
That's
I
it.
would-
So
I'd like
I
to-
made the motion.
Yeah, I'll second the motion for Simpson.
Okay. That being said, we have two motions. So I'm just, the motion carries. You can call the roll, Mr. Maresco.
So I will call the
You
roll.
can still
so-
feel free to vote as well, Chris, even though you've
I'll
called a
vote.
secondary
So a
motion.
motion's been duly made and second, so a roll call is in order. Mr. Bradley?
Aye.
Mr. Rohland?
Nay.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
So Chief Candidate Simpson is appointed chief by a 2-to-1 margin.
And again, I'm sorry, make that subject to negotiating a
Yes,
successful
subject to
contract
success
with us.
and negotiation of his contract and background check.
Using